Panay, Squad Group 2. Lagmay Melanie, Mendoza Ira, Surca Eduardo, Manuel Venus Tulay Randolph, Lubo Jomari, Osorio Joey, Mauricio Riolin, Sagabayan John Mark, Tabon Raymart, Tagilala Aldrin, Padera Herman, Lingan Mary Joy, Mendoza Mercado, Rapat Raizan, Sibuyan Joanna May, Villanueva Giovanni, Villar Judel, Lagrana Nestor, and last is Mr. Saplan.
I'm one of the member of the group 2, and we are tasked to discuss the fire tetrahedron. And for this report, we are going to discuss the history of fire and what is fire all about, its elements, sources, and what is fire tetrahedron together with its elements and sources also, and what is combustion reaction, and what is the importance of fire to human and together with its negative impact or effect.
Can fire exist without oxygen? A fire cannot burn without oxygen. It should be noted that in the presence of carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen, stars heavier than the sun may burn hydrogen to helium by using the C, N, and O as catalyst. Even in these stars, however, an absence of oxygen does not prevent nuclear burning.
What is the importance of those elements? First, oxygen to sustain the combustion reaction. Ito is siya yung umaalalay para yung apoy ay mapalakas at magpatuloy. And fuel, serve as a material of fire to start burning. Importante siya para sa pagpapalabas ng apoy at magkaroon ng apoy. And heat, produce heat as they burn, which further increase the fuel's temperature. So kailangan ng heat para mapainit yung fuel with the oxygen para makapalabas ng apoy at magkaroon. And self-sustained chemical reaction, this require a fuel, an oxidizer, and heat to combine in a very specific way to continue chain reaction. So siya yung nagpapakontinue ng flaming o pagpapaapoy with the chemical reaction to the fuel, oxygen, and heat.
Good day to everyone. I'm Osorio Joey, and I'm going to report what is fire tetrahedron. For many years, the concept of fire was symbolized by the triangle of combustion and represented fuel, heat, and oxygen. Further, fire research determined that the fourth element, chemical chain reaction, was a necessary component of fire. The fire triangle was changed to a fire tetrahedron to reflect this fourth element. So, yung dating fire triangle is na-replace because of fourth element, at ito nga yung chemical chain reaction. So yung dating fire triangle ngayon ay naging fire tetrahedron. A tetrahedron can be described as a pyramid, which is a solid having four plane faces. Essentially, all four elements must be present for fire to occur: fuel, heat, oxygen, and a chemical chain reaction. Removal of any one of these essential elements will result in the fire being extinguished. So yun nga, kapag nagkulang ng isang mixture, like for example, wala siyang oxygen, so hindi makakabuo ng isang apoy kapag wala siyang sapat na oxygen. So this is the elements of fire tetrahedron. First is oxygen. The oxygen is to sustain combustion. 2 is sufficient heat to raise the material to its ignition o sapat na init. 3 3 is fuel combustible material and the 4 is subsequently an exothermic chemical chain reaction. So yun yung naidagdag, yung chemical chain reaction. Each of the 4 sides of the fire tetrahedron symbolize the fuel, heat, oxygen, and especially the chemical chain reaction. And yun lamang kung aking report.
Next is oxygen. Oxygen is an odorless, colorless, tasteless gas, and ambient air is made up of approximately 21% oxygen, and as most fire only require at least 16% oxygen to burn. It acts as the oxidizing agent in the chemical reaction. So, oxygen supports the chemical processes that occur during fire. When fuel burns, it reacts with the oxygen to release and generate combustion. So, please note that we cannot produce fire without any presence of this element. Sources of oxygen: 1.21% of normal oxygen, 2.78% of nitrogen, 3.1% of other gases. Oxygen requirements: 1.12% no fire, 2.14% flash point, and lastly 3.21% fire point.
Good day to everyone. My name is Nestor Silagrana Jr., BS Cream 3E, Group 2 in Fire Tetrahedron. My report is all about what is the importance of fire to human. We all know that fire has been an asset to human species. It is the ability to effectively manage and manipulate fire, such as heating, cooking, smoke, signaling, and managing of landscape. Fire are provided a source that help for human being, like lightning, and it is to create advanced tools and a method of cooking food, and also for cultural advancements that allowed to human geographic dispersal, cultural innovation, and also to changes of human behavior.
What is heat? Heat is the form of energy that is transferred between systems or objects with different temperatures, also referred to as heat energy or thermal energy. Heat is typically measured in BTU. BTU is British Thermal Unit, calories or joules. Ang init ay paglipat ng magkaibang sistema or bagay na magkaiba ng temperatura. Tinutukoy din bilang enerhiya ng init o enerhiya ng pang-init. Karaniwang sinusukat ang init sa British Thermal Units, pag-agos ng init o ang rate kung saan ang init ay inililipat sa pagitan ng mga system.
Good day to everyone. I am Randolph Hintulay and I am tasked to report the fourth and last element of fire tetrahedron theory, which is the self-sustained chemical reaction. To begin the discussion, let us first define what is a chemical reaction. So a chemical reaction is a process in which one or more substances or reactants should be present to create or produce another substances or products. Sa ating fire tetrahedron theory, the combination of the elements oxidizing agent or the oxygen, the reducing agent or the fuel, and the heat or temperature are the reactants of the chemical reaction. In the science of fire, chemical reaction is said to be self-sustaining because it continues without interruption once the flame begins. However, once flaming starts, it can only continue kapag there is the presence of the heat, fuel, and the oxygen until the end. However, kapag natapos ito or kapag one of them is absent, ay mangyayaring matigil ang fire or the combustion. At syempre, kapag nangyari yon ay matatapos na rin yung chemical reaction. However, bago mangyari yon ay meron na tayong nangyaring chemical reaction and syempre nakapag-produce na sila ng kanilang products. For the purpose of this discussion, let us cite some of the products ng combustion. Number 1 is the carbon dioxide. the water vapor, and of course the ashes or abo. Yun lamang, thank you.
What is combustion process? Causes pyrolysis or vaporization of solid and liquid fuels and production of ignitable vapors or gases. Sa process ng combustion, nagsasanhi ito ng pyrolysis or healing ng organic material gaya ng biomass na walang oxygen pero still thermally decompose siya kahit hindi siya sunog pero still may baga pa rin. O init dahil sa mga chemical na fuels. At vaporization or pagkasanhi ng usok. Syempre, sabi nga na sir, kung may usok, malamang may apoy. So ito ay process kung paano magkaroon ng apoy at syempre sa mga pagsisindi ng mga gases or fuels kaya may apoy.
So my report is all about provide the energy necessary for ignition. So what makes a fire burn? So fire is a chemical reaction in which energy in the form of heat is produced. And when forest fuels burn, there is a chemical combination of the oxygen in the air with woody material, pitch, and other burnable elements found in the forest environment. This process is known as combustion. So combustion is a chain reaction chemically similar to photosynthesis in rubber. So the combustion process releases this heat. So the tremendous amount of heat that is produced in the burning process is the major reason that the suppression of wildfires is such a difficult task, and why the use of prescribed fire is a complex and exciting process requiring knowledgeable and experienced people. So may tatlong things na required in proper combination before ignition and combustion can take place. So heat, oxygen, and fuel. There must be fuel to burn. There must be air to supply oxygen. There must be heat and to continue the combustion process.
So my name is Aldrin Titagilala, one of the member of Group 2. So dito sa panghuling process or combustion reactions ay sinabi dito na yung continuous productions or ignitions ng fuel, mapa liquid, solid, or gas man yan dahil sa mga elements of fire na nagsama-sama kaya continuous yung pagkakaroon ng apoy.
So what is fire? Fire is the visible effect of the process of combustion, a special type of chemical reaction. It occurs between oxygen in the air and some source of fluid. Fires have the three elements, which is the heat, oxygen, and the fuel. Fire may be a natural or man-made, depending on what cause of disasters. Example of natural fire is the lightning, which is an electrical discharge caused by the imbalance between storm and the ground. Human-caused fire can be due to any reason or any number of reasons, which is smoking, recreations, equipment, and many more. So in the other hand, fires are both natural and man-made.
Ano nga ba ang kahalagahan ng fire sa ating lahat? Napakahalaga ng fire sa ating lahat. Imaginin mo kung walang fire sa atin is napupuno tayo ng mga kadiliman sa ating paligid. Ang fire is nakatutulong sa atin upang sa ganun is siya yung maging ilaw sa atin upang sa ganun is makita natin yung kahalagahan o gaano kaganda yung isang bagay na makikita natin sa ating paligid. Fire also helps human to be warm para magluto rin ng makakain. Imagine na walang fire is hindi ka rin makakaluto ng kakainin, hindi ka rin makakapagpapainit. Fire is very important to human. Hindi ka mabubuhay kung walang fire sa ating buhay.
Good morning. My name is Giovanni Villanueva from BS Cream 3. One of the member of Group 2. My topic is negative effect of fire. First is fire can cause death. Second is destroying homes or property, which is the example of this is the human negligence in using fire. Third is destroy wildlife habitat and nature. The example of this is the kaingin or deforestations. Fourth is pollutes the air with emissions that are harmful to human health. The example of this is burning plastic, because the smoke of burning plastic pollutes the air and it is detrimental to human health. And last one, it is the fire also release carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide is a major greenhouse gas that affect our atmosphere.
Conclusion. The tetrahedron is basically the extension of the fire triangle. The fire triangle was used for many years, but it was found after years of research that there was a fourth element that needed to be present for the fire to active. The four elements that are within the tetrahedron are oxygen, heat, fuel, and chemical reaction. Looking at the different classes of fire will help anyone to be able to put a fire out if it is not that uncontrollable. It is important to understand what can be used and what cannot be used to put out each type of fire that there is also.
Good day, sir. A tetrahedron can be described as a pyramid which is a solid having four plane faces. Essentially, all four elements must be present for fire to occur: fuel, heat, oxygen, and chemical chain reaction. Removal of any one of these essential elements will result in the fire being extinguished.